who would be your Manchester United player of the season?
Mainu. And I would say, what is it? He might not even be 20 games into his career at United. The level of consistency that he's shown is outrageous. There's such a trust in what you're going to get out of him. I think he's had one bad game. It might be two, but it's no more than that. Which for a young player in his first season, you're expecting 8s, 9s, 4 5s, 8s, 9s, 4 5. You're expecting to be a little bit erratic, and he's just not.
Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is Off the Bar, brought to you by Green King Sport. Joining me, as always, is Mr. Joe Smith.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm Mr. Stephen Howson. How are you?
Yeah, I was all right. And I was all right for the first take as well. Thanks.
Thanks for pointing that out. We're going to have our end-of-season awards. Look, the club have cancelled their end-of-season awards, but don't worry, we've stepped up to the plate. We're going to take over and give you our version of the end-of-season awards for Manchester United Football Club.
I just say, we
are
doing these ones. I'm going to do a live one on Sunday, which might involve alcohol. So,
do you know what?
After we finish this, I'll see you on Sunday for Stevie's solo one.
I'm proud of you that you're doing that on your channel. You drinking loads of alcohol and doing your end of season awards. That's going to be carnage, but I'll be watching it. Yeah, live as well.
I'll also be watching that. But let's watch this one first.
Channel. But watch this one first, then we can tune into that another time. Talk us through the categories.
I reckon we're going to get to the end of them here as well, which I'm probably not promising. So
no,
it's just going to be disappointed if you did.
8-hour live stream of a shot of your chair with you no longer in it, slumped under your desk, asleep. That's probably going to be the end of yours.
Do it in the bar.
Oh, perfect.
Oh,
so the categories that we're going to be going through tonight.
Yeah.
We have goal of the season, signing of the season, biggest disappointment of the season, funniest moment of the season, best moment of the season, game of the season, most improved player of the season, and finally the big one, player of the season, Stretford Paddock edition.
Okay.
It's exciting. There's a lot to go through here.
First up, we've got goal of the season. Yeah. There's some big contenders here. We've got Garnacho versus Everton, which I have a sneaky suspicion might just win. We've got Rashford versus Manchester City. We've got Bruno versus Burnley.
I'll be honest, it feels like all the goals we scored have been bangers.
That is a
we
good
didn't
point.
score a lot.
Because we've only scored about 12, haven't we?
Yeah.
And there's about 8 of them on this category.
It's like, 66% chance of making the shortlist of being a banger.
Yeah. Mainu versus Wolves.
That was good.
Mainu versus Liverpool.
That was good.
That was very good.
Fernandes versus Galatasaray.
I don't remember it.
I don't remember that.
I've just the Champions League genuinely feels like another season.
That was last season.
It does, doesn't it? Like,
Champions League? Never.
No, we were in the Champions League this season. I remember that.
Is it? Shut up.
Fernandes against Liverpool and Amad Diallo winner against Liverpool.
Fernandes big lob. That was quite nice when it capitalising on the mistake there from the Liverpool player. That was very good.
Liverpool players don't make mistakes.
Oh, that's
You'd
true.
hear about it if they did.
That's true.
So are we all just saying Garnacho then?
I don't. We're going to do this like best 2 of 3.
Okay.
But I think we can just say Garnacho. It's one of the best goals I've ever seen, let alone the best goal this season.
Do you put any weight in what other goals meant?
1,000,000%.
Because Garnacho's goal was a goal against Everton at Goodison in the league where we won comfortably. Where there's other goals that were a little bit more seminal.
Don't do this.
Joe's shaking his head right now, but I'll tell you this.
Go on, tell me.
When I drop a shoulder, do a quick little step over,
I've seen you do this.
and dosh a balled up pair of socks through the kitchen door,
It
don't matter.
Right.
However,
Yeah.
when we're talking Liverpool,
FA Cup.
No.
That's your season right there, kid. That is it.
Here's the thing.
Go on.
This isn't moment of the season, which is a category.
Right.
This is goal of the season. Of course, you put some weight in the moment that goal was present in. But in terms of the quality, Ahmad's goal was good. It wasn't an easy finish. He had to do a bit of a dummy, put it in the corner. It was a good goal. But the difficulty rating on Garnacho's puts it far beyond anything else. And to the point where, yes, the sentimentality and the grandeur of the game gets Ahmad close. But that was a sensational goal.
The game is a factor.
It's a factor. But a bigger factor is goal quality, I think. It has to be. Would you say Ahmad then? Is that your pick?
Bicycle kicks don't really do it for me, man, because I feel like they're half chance. I feel like they swing at it. Like it's certainly not as deliberate as like even Mainu's against.
But then, surely by that logic, goal of the season would be a tap in from a yard out because they definitely meant it.
Don't be a dick.
I don't know, right? I'm torn. I am torn. Because
You're not torn! What are we talking about?
Because there's something that you've both said, right? Because you said there's moment of the season as well, right?
Fernandes against Liverpool, just as much.
Like, there's moment of the season, which, for me, plot spoiler, is going to be Amad Diallo's winner. So does he win twice? Or, Manu against Wolves for me was such a moment that feels like
arriving on the scene.
Yeah, it feels like he needs some sort of recognition for that.
Do you know how many times they're going to replay that when they hand him his Ballon d'Or?
Yeah, exactly.
Look at the journey he's been on in 18 months.
Yeah.
What, do you not think he's winning this year? No.
Yeah, what are you being negative for? What are you saying you don't rate Kobe Manu for?
Who else is going to win a fucking Ballon d'Or, Joe, if it's not Manu?
This is genuinely ridiculous.
No, it's not ridiculous. He goes to the Euros. He goes to the Euros, right? He absolutely
YouTube is always trying to be smart on that. I don't mean the Manu thing. He's winning the Ballon d'Or.
You're not wearing fucking shoes. Don't talk to me about ridiculous.
And
why did you need to check that?
Not picking Garnacho.
You've known him longer than me.
Not picking Garnacho for goal of the season would be just insane. So ridiculous to start this video off. I mean, I can get outvoted, obviously, but I'm going Garnacho. What's your vote? So what are you saying? Manu? So what we best 3 out of 4? What are we doing here?
You know what? Because he was nice to me, lad, when we went to Carrington. You're right. I'll go with Garnacho.
Hey, there we go.
There's my logic.
So do
you know what? I kind of get what Steve's saying though about bicycle kicks.
No, what?
No, I do. I feel like there's a sort of instinctiveness. It's just you turn, boom. And I get it. It was mint. I'm not saying it wasn't a mint goal. I understand his point though. Sometimes it's a little bit like.
Yeah, I got no issue with
sometimes
it being in, like,
I think a goal, like a goal where you picked up the ball, you've gone past players.
It's like people going about Rooney's, a little bit more in it against City.
Yeah,
it's his fucking shin pad.
Do you know what I mean? And you're telling me we could have done that? Come on, I'd have done the same thing if I was him. So I get it.
A hip thing, so.
Yeah, and I sweep me calf.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. Garnacho is the winner. Yeah, for me anyway. What do you say?
He's outvoted anyway.
All right, no, but I want to know his vote. I want to know if he's voting
with
something else. Marcus Rashford deserves an honourable mention. I get that, but the winner is Alejandro Garnacho for his bicycle kick at Goodison Park. An absolute worldie. And it was even better than Wayne Rooney's. I know Wayne Rooney's was more important.
He hit it cleaner.
Yeah, he did. So well done, Alejandro. You've won the first award of the Stretford Paddock Awards.
Well deserved.
Is that a £5 gift voucher at Greg's?
Yeah. But you have to come with us to redeem it.
Yeah. It's on Jay's ID.
Send it. It's on my phone. So yeah, it's on my phone. So you got to come with me, Arcade. Right, signing of the season.
Evans.
Who are the nominees, Jay?
Rasmus Højlund. Yeah, 72 million quid.
I've seen him in listed of flops. Not having that.
No, I'm not. That's just stupid. Mason Mount, £55 million.
No, I might argue with you that might be a flop.
He's probably not quite lived up to expectations. You sold me a duffer there again. Andre
I signed the players.
No, well, me and you did a thing on your channel where you convinced me that I was stupid to doubt the signing of Mason Mount and that you were right.
It's not like we spent loads on him, is it?
And I went along with you.
10 months later, right?
I know. Andre Onana, 47.2 million. Sofian Amrabat, an 8.5 million loan. And Johnny Evans on a free. Yeah? And we're not counting out Bayandera or anyone else.
No.
Pound for pound.
Go on.
Johnny Evans.
So he's gone straight in there. Johnny Evans on a Freeman's, done well when he's played.
Right, let me break it down for you.
Please do.
I'll break it down for you.
Okay.
Højlund is not the flop of the season.
No one's saying he is.
Whatever it was million, I can't sit here in good faith and tell you that he was our signing this season.
Right.
I think Onana will be a great goalkeeper for Manchester United.
Yeah.
But I think there was errors. I think people overcooked some of his errors. I think he's had more trade than De Gea's had in 4 seasons to deal with this year. But his performances in the Champions League did hasten our exit.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say.
I think after Christmas has been really good.
No, I agree with everything you've just said.
Mason Mount's an absolutely... It's probably because of the injury more than anything else, but like, Jesus Christ, did we fuck that up?
It's like we're determined to end the number 7 shirt as a thing.
Yeah.
It's like, what can we do to stop it being a thing?
Like 3.5 times 2 is what number 7 is going to be next year.
It needs to be, because it's beyond cursed now.
Yeah.
And honestly, up until about a fortnight ago, Amrabat might have gone down as one of the most ridiculous things we've ever done. Right now, I'm driving a bandwagon to get him signed permanent. But,
yeah. I'll co-sign that.
So I think what it means is...
right now is the answer to our problems in the FA Cup final.
Johnny Evans... without a shadow of a doubt, is signing this season.
Like every podcast, this episode of Off the Bar is brought to you by Green King Sport, where football is more than a game.
Make Green King Sport your go-to destination for this season's final stretch. For one, you can watch every single televised United game down with delicious food and refreshing beverages. There's over 900 sports clubs dotted around the UK. Chances are you are within walking distance of your local Green King.
Let's be honest, watching the match is far better with your mates. So get your little squad together, get in the group chats, get down to your local Green King and watch those final games of the season. You've got all the cup finals and the Euros on the horizon as well. So enjoy them all with Green King.
We all know how busy the pub can get, so don't forget to book your table for the Euros. Don't leave it too late.
So what should you do? Just download the Green King Sport app, and that way you will have your chance to enter all the competitions and giveaways whenever there is a game on. The link is in the description.
You see, when at first you say Johnny Evans signed of the season, it sounds somewhat ridiculous. However, you have made a very good case.
Yeah.
Joseph.
I think...
Has he ever played bad?
Yeah.
Sellers Park wasn't his
Palace.
finest moment.
All right, who was good?
Well, that's not the question.
I hasten to say he was probably still above average.
Yeah, it wasn't great when he came on against Arsenal either.
Right.
He got skinned a bit and didn't get close enough.
Do you know
to
what's the
Rice's
sad
goal.
thing?
But that's it.
Like, was it City where he was doing really well and he got injured?
Got a fucking clean sheet against Liverpool at Anfield.
Like, he's had some moments, hasn't it? And also the Burnley goal you were mentioning earlier, the Bruno Fernandes one. Great little ball from John Evans. And I remember the meltdown when he was picked for that game. And I may have been guilty a little bit of it in my group chat. And everyone was like, Jesus wept. We're starting Johnny Evans in the Premier League. How far we done fell and all the rest of it.
Anfield.
Yeah, I know. Well, even more so. And he was mint. So I think Stephen makes a good case. Because every other signing is massively flawed in some way. I like Højlund. He has been a good signing. And I think he's got a bright future.
You've got to factor in, pound for pound.
Yeah.
It costs us £1.
Yeah.
Like, literally, we got Johnny Evans for less than a multi-bag of skips.
That is true. I mean,
Or even a single bag of skips.
we could just list lots of things that cost nothing or next to nothing, but we're not going to do that.
But to be fair, if you're spending like $100,000 a week on skips, you've got real issues, which is what we are paying for Johnny Evans.
Not a priority.
All right, let's say it's $50,000 a week. That's still a lot of skips, isn't it?
I reckon he plays for free.
I think the one thing that we also need to factor in here, in the defence of in the defence of Onana and Højlund, is the potential for this signing to be good going forward as well. It's not just about what you've done so far.
Højlund, we're not going to get over 10 years out of Johnny Evans. You fucking mad.
Exactly.
Yeah. Højlund, for example, has done a lot of good stuff this season. I think his goal score record's quite decent. Obviously smashed it in the Champions League, had that mad purple patch around the sort of turn of the year. I think with Højlund, though, he had that long spell in the Premier League where he didn't get a goal and assist. Then after he'd scored a load of goals, he had another little bit of a lean spell.
Is he still the least pass to forward, by the way?
Yeah, it's not his fault. The service he's received has been shocking, but I just feel because of that, he's not quite the sign of the season for me. Yeah. So I don't know, part of me wants to say Højlund, but he's made a good case.
Yeah.
I
think it's close, but
Tim or Amrabat, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Johnny Evans. I think Amrabat's the saviour of Manchester United Football Club.
I think
him and that dog.
Yeah.
Clean sweep, Johnny Evans. With Onana and I keep saying Amrabat. Onana and Højlund as honourable mentions.
It's a low bar, though.
It's not a great bar. But I think Højlund's done okay, and he's kind of done what I expected in his first season.
I think you predicted bang on what he would do.
I think I said 15 goals, didn't I?
I think he's on for that.
But the thing with Evans is he's overachieved compared to what I expected, and that's probably why he is signing of the season. Also, we've relied on him as like emergency Johnny Evans, and he's properly stepped up. So
it's absolutely nuts from when me and Macca met him in the shop at.
Well, I was going to say your sole purpose in life now is to get in a room with him to present him with this award.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to hear any excuses.
I think I could probably do that.
I'd 100% know you can, and I know he'd be buzzing, so make it happen.
All right, good. Yeah. An award made up.
We will do.
Yeah, so when we met him in La Stancia, I think we'd said to him, "Oh, so shit, man, you're on the tour," and it was like, "Yeah, Reece Bennett's injured, so played a couple of games. They've just asked me to come out on tour." We're like, "Cool, where are you playing next year?" And he was like, "Don't know yet." A couple of weeks later, obviously, we spoke to him, and I can't believe we was telling everyone for ages how he's got a year deal, and then no one had picked up on it until like the season had started. And it's like, Johnny Evans got a year deal, and we're like, haven't we been saying that for like a month?
Isn't it absolutely mental that if he hadn't have signed for United, it's not inconceivable that he would have been playing in the Championship this season?
Or not, with Johnny Evans and him and De Gea just couldn't blame FIFA.
Yeah, he might have thought, I guess I'm done, but he wasn't. And after that Wrexham game, I thought he was.
I tell you what,
I didn't like that.
I was like, yes, Johnny Evans, and then that Wrexham game, I was like, maybe I'll see if it's time for Paddock.
No. It looked like that could have been an option. When he was having Wrexham absolutely tearing him apart.
Fucking Paul Mullins had him on toast.
I know, honestly, but he turned it around massively, and he's been a very good player.
Well, you got to say, Paul Mullins, Liverpool FC.
Similar, isn't it? Salah, Mullins, potato. Yeah, so we'll agree. Johnny Evans with honourable mentions to the ones we spoke about.
I'll go
make sure you do.
See if he's doing chicken dippers.
There we go. Biggest disappointment, worst signing of the season. So this is a sort of twofold thing. You can have worst signing of the season if you want to talk about someone we signed, or you can just have people who are our biggest disappointment. Yeah. We've had some players that have fell out with a manager, not mention any names, Jadon Sancho, who've not performed like they can do, not mention any names, Casemiro, who've just been pretty woeful all season, not mention any names, Anthony. So there's a lot to choose from.
Where do you want to start? Marcus Rashford.
Okay, yeah, Marcus
Casemiro,
Rashford.
The physio department.
Okay, Rashford, Casemiro.
That's my vote.
Yeah.
United's medical staff. Because fucking hell have you dropped the ball. They couldn't fucking... If they had Tamagotchis, they'd all be dead.
Yeah.
They can't look after fucking nothing.
The thing is,
kids Google it.
I don't always he's such a 90s kid.
I don't always think blaming the medical stuff because you don't know what they do. But
you have to blame someone.
I don't think they know what they're doing.
No, but that's the thing. But if us three were United's medical staff, we wouldn't have had more injuries. Would we? There may be people would have put loads of weight on and they wouldn't know how to play football, but they wouldn't have been injured this much.
Test if we was the medical staff.
But like the number of injuries is more than I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll get you clean.
More than anyone's ever seen.
Yeah. So
like I genuinely think if you'd have done a banger racing on Carrington main pitch, right? They wouldn't have been more injured.
Yeah. I agree with everything you're saying, but I feel like that's a bit of a cop-out from us to just say the medical
I'm not
department.
saying that. That's not my pick.
No, I think you've got to sort of nail your colours to the mast and say there's a player or person.
Casemiro, Marcus.
Well, you having all of them?
Varane and his injuries, Martinez and his injuries, Luke Shaw and his all of those things have caused all sorts. Sancho for being a fucking wet wipe. Anthony for just how he reacts to being told to play in a different fucking position.
I agree with everything you said, but I think for me, if it's going to be disappointment, I think it's going to be Sancho. I honestly thought this season, after last season, I thought he'd be on it this season. And I thought we saw glimpses in pre-season. Arsenal game, of course, you thought, okay.
Dortmund,
you know what I mean? Yeah, and he's just nothing at all. Like, I agree Marcus has been a disappointment, Casemiro's been a disappointment, Anthony's been a disappointment, but they've at least done something in a United shirt this season. Jadon Sancho hasn't done anything at all.
Has he even played?
I think he might have had a couple.
Yeah,
he played against Wolves or whatever, or Spurs, I can't remember, but he's not done anything of note whatsoever. And then he's gone to Dortmund and got himself in a Champions League final, which just makes me more annoyed because that is a player we should have had. Yeah. So for me, it's got to be Sancho. And I understand everything you said about the medical department and the injuries. It's been shocking.
In terms of what I expected to what we've seen, it's Casemiro for me.
Okay.
Last season, he was one of our most important players. I know Rashford was, and he's had a drop off as well. But we've gone from being
getting giddy on Casemiro.
Yeah, we've gone from him being incredible for us, helping us win trophies, top three, to like
fucking mate.
To like pundits saying he needs to retire. Like I don't think I've seen such a drop off in one season.
And also, pundits saying he needs to retire, and you sort of sat there going, okay, I don't like the guy who's saying this, but.
He ain't wrong.
Yeah. He might have a point.
That Crystal Palace performance from Casemiro, I don't think I've ever seen a player give less fucks in a game in my life.
That's the thing, it wasn't like Gary Neville against West Brom where he was trying.
The game's beyond him.
Yeah, he couldn't do what he needed to do.
No, it was like, I'm going to try for two for everyone and see if I can get in that bath before.
Yeah, it felt.
It's just a bit weird almost watching him because you're not used to seeing him like that. You're not used to seeing players like that really, where it's all of a sudden he's dropped off so many levels. And it's a bit bizarre. I wonder if there's injuries involved. I wonder if there's certain things going on that we don't know about. But just in terms of what I thought we'd see to what we've seen, it's Casemiro.
No, I'm not excusing it because he should always put a performance on when he steps out onto that pitch for Manchester United. But if you've won 5 Champions Leagues and you're in a mid-table tussle at Selhurst Park.
And you're the worst player on the pitch.
Yeah,
it reeks of fucking George Best at Dunstable, doesn't it? Or Barnstable, wherever the fuck it was. Dunstable, Barnstable.
One of the Stables.
Yeah,
I think it was
Constable.
And even that though, was more commendable because he was doing it to help a fucking mate out.
Yeah.
Casemiro was doing it for 350 grand a week.
It's just.
And Josh Best probably still pulled it out, I bet, didn't he?
Yeah, he probably still had little moments, but Casemiro has been disappointing.
So
I'm going to go with
then?
Sancho. You've got the deciding vote.
What have you said?
Casemiro.
You saying?
Sancho.
I mean, they're both right.
Yeah. So I mean,
We can't share the award though.
well,
We've only got
we
one.
can't.
We've only got one little trophy for
Right,
it.
it's fucking medical team. The fucking lot of you let us down, didn't you?
Right.
We got so fucking giddy. We all had us coming first and second in the bleeding predictions. Now we've got Arsenal fans kicking off because we had them 8th and that, or 5th or whatever. What was it, 5th, 8th? Brilliant. Right, even if you put a disclaimer in saying we've done this to ball your piss, they're like, look where you put us. We're like, yeah.
Why did they care? Like honestly, Arsenal Fan TV or whoever could rank my kids in order, and I wouldn't notice or care. Like, why are they bothered what we're doing about their team? What's it matter?
Alistair, isn't it?
Nah, this says me. I mean, I haven't got a favourite.
So what? The biggest disappointment this season is the lot of yous. Is that?
I'm for it.
The fucking lot of yous!
I love it. I love a little stay round. Yeah, I'm with you. But let's have the lot of yous. There's no wrong answer there because everything he's just said is true.
What's been good?
Yeah.
No.
You could almost name the entire squad.
Fuck all. That's what's been good. What's good? The end of it.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
Winning the FA Cup.
yeah, there you go. That's the spirit.
Can't do made up things, Joe.
Right, funniest moment of the season. Right.
I mean, you can pick any.
Right, so we've got United fan laughing at a name I will never pronounce. Go on.
Szoboszlai.
And Salah after FA Cup quarter-final. Casemiro baffled at ref decision versus Palace.
That was quite good.
Hoyland lookalike.
That was
Onana punching a Wolves player and not getting penalised.
That was quite good, actually.
Klopp storming out of the interview after FA Cup quarter-final. Anthony eyebrow substitution, and I'm going to add one in. The Amad Diallo red card.
Oh, I forgot he got sent off
My favourite red card ever.
For those who forgot, when was that?
After he scored the winner against Liverpool to end Klopp's, farewell tour, pretty much.
Holland lookalike was quite funny.
He got a second yellow for his celebration.
The Holland lookalike was funny, and at least no one kicked the arse out of it for months, eh? Because that'd have been really boring,
that would have.
wouldn't it?
Yeah,
And
that
actually,
would've
do you know what?
got
No,
too
the
much.
funniest moment of the season is the Klopp farewell tour.
Yeah, it is. United killing the Klopp farewell tour in the league and in the FA Cup is just sensational.
Yeah.
What more could you
How
ask
have they
for?
not
That's
beat
a
us
bigger
this
trophy
season?
than anything we've ever.
Unreal.
They've not beaten us since they put 7 past us. Like, hey, fucking 7-0, and then we was like, yeah, and now you've not beat us since.
Like, what is? How's
great.
that happened?
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
He's
Palace
beat Ten Hag once in
Palace
five.
have done the double over us.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace for the first time in their history
And Liverpool haven't beat us.
in 3 attempts.
Super.
I don't care how small time it is. It's very, very funny.
Yeah, listen, we take what we've got.
Yeah.
The Klopp farewell tour is the funniest moment of the season.
Definitely. Yeah.
Because
Without
they was
question.
absolutely... Do you know what it was? The same energy. The energy was identical, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you a moment and you tell me, was the energy identical with the way the media was treating it, with the way all of those sorts of things? John Terry walking up and readjusting his armband.
Yeah.
It's the same energy, isn't it?
Well
It's the
said.
exact
that.
same energy.
Yeah,
It's that.
it is.
It's that. I know
The
what I'm
same
doing.
outcome.
Everyone look at me.
Yeah.
It's the
One down, 4 to go, and all that stuff.
It's the
1 down,
Gerrard
3 to
huddle in
go.
the middle of the pitch. It's that kind of thing, innit?
Yeah.
It is, which makes it all the more sweeter and funnier. I don't think we need to discuss it. It's definitely the Klopp farewell tour coming
Is
to
that
an
sad?
end.
Yeah. Do I look sad though? No, you lot look sad.
Yeah,
You look
you're
really,
sad,
really
mate.
sad. You look really, really sad.
Best moment of the season: Ahmad scoring against Liverpool. Hoyland first goal on Boxing Day.
I mean, this is another one we can just wrap this up in an instant, can't we? It's
Really?
Ahmad scoring against Liverpool.
I knocked my dad over.
On purpose?
In a car.
No, when
Are you that happy?
my dad scored.
Oh, your dad stand there under the car park. Watch this.
Bosh. No, it was. There hasn't been limbs like that
No.
for a long time.
I think it's up there genuinely as one of the like a genuine contender for the best game I've been at.
If we said 10 moments in the 10 years since Fergie has left us, it's now 11, but let's not split hairs. It's fucking. Is it sad? Yeah. Is it in there though? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is.
It's up there with PSG and
Yeah.
others, isn't it?
For a game.
That was incredible.
Leaving Wembley after Tony Marshall scored. And
Ronaldo
just
coming back was
echoing
pretty
that.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that game had everything and just the occasion. And also, I think it makes it a little bit better the fact that we were so shit. like where we are in the minute.
Jamie was playing Bruno at centre back.
Yeah, like and Anthony at left back. Like we're in this moment where we're terrible. We had a team that was just like nothing I've ever seen before playing. They were going for this quadruple, and we beat them in a manner that was
We were
hilarious.
5 minutes from bringing Albert a Kitman on.
I know.
It was so good. It was so good.
Honestly.
It was one of them people falling on you from rows behind and all sorts.
That's what I mean. So
Yeah.
I've grabbed my dad. I've just fucking ended up on top of him in a pile.
So
Just-
good.
I want to give an honourable mention. It's not the same, but I do feel like Mainoo's goal against Wolves was a moment as well.
Brilliant goal.
It was a moment.
Like an arrival.
Yeah, it was an arrival. It's like, Rooney for Everton against Arsenal or whatever. You go, like, you're going to remember this kid for a long time. It felt like that. But there's no discussion there. It was Ahmad
There was
Diallo.
also that little dribble. Was it against Liverpool? That little dribble where he
Oh,
just
yeah,
danced
in this game on it, I think, where he just silenced a load of critics. And like, he's not even that
He
good.
was
Harvey
brilliant in
Elliott. Shut up. All right, we've settled on that then. Do get involved in
Elliott,
these comments, though, and let us know what you think, if you disagree or agree with us. Right, game in the season time. This is going to be very short. We've got a few nominees. We've got, obviously, the FA Cup quarter-final against Liverpool. That's up there. You've got the Wolves game that I mentioned, where Kobbie Mainoo reminded everyone of how good he was. You've got United versus Villa in the Premier League at Old Trafford. You was at that one, weren't you?
That was quite good, yeah.
And you've also got Everton away, which I think was probably our best complete performance. It wasn't perfect, but it was a decent performance. Am I missing anything? Is there anything there?
Palace. I was not know if it was in the cup or no. They beat us in the cup. Didn't it?
It was
Was it
in
the
the-
week before the cup?
No, it was in the Carabao.
Was it
in the
Carabao
Carabao.
Cup? That was a good performance.
Yeah.
Um,
There's
I
other-
think Spurs or Chelsea at home. I want to say was one
Chelsea,
of them.
we beat Chelsea at home. But I don't think we were great.
We're
Nicholas Jackson
absolutely
and
clutching
Mudryk
at straws here, aren't
couldn't
we?
finish the dinner.
Yeah, we've been dog shit.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've done well to get 4.
I'm just gonna say I know we skipped past it, but like the producer did write Coventry and United on the
I mean,
shortlist.
Yeah.
in their defence, they probably thought it's an FA Cup semi-final,
Yeah.
and you won.
Yeah.
But it's probably the worst FA Cup semi-final I've ever been to, and I've seen
It
us
was
lose
boring
FA
when
Cup
we were
semi-finals.
3-0, and then it was tragic when it was
Yeah,
on its way to 3-3.
it
Yeah,
was
it was really
a
bad.
horrible game. I mean, we can't argue anything.
Real
else,
took
can
his
we?
son to that game as his first ever United game,
First ever United game.
Yeah.
Crikey.
and he was like, luckily he didn't know what's going on because he really enjoyed it, loads of goals.
Right.
And I was
Yeah.
like, right, because if you got any level of context here, like, don't bring me here again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I took my lad because I took him to the FA Cup final as his first trip to Wembley last season, and I didn't want him to experience just defeat. I thought I'll take him
pain.
to Coventry. We'll beat them 3-0 up. I thought I'd done the right thing. By the end, he was crying.
But even at 3-0, it was shit.
It was, but I could stomach that. I could stomach it being shit and us winning comfortably. But yeah, that was horrible. We're just gonna go the FA Cup semi-final. Yeah,
It's got to be.
Quarter-final, sorry.
It's only one
Quarter-final,
moment of the season.
quarter-final,
It has to win
quarter-final.
game of the season.
Yeah, quarter-final then. All right then, sound.
Oh my God, Joe, the scouts are going to be like, so it was your moment of the season,
Yeah.
it was the funniest thing that happened this season.
Yeah, and it was the worst moment of their season, so of course it's going to be the best moment of our season. That literally
lot
just
going on
fucking
there.
works.
Right, we've got the next category.
Can I say the Arsenal game in pre-season then, just to be different?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite good
I
actually.
like the fact we won it twice. You know what I mean? We won it, and then they went, well, you're having penalties. And you're like, well, why are we having penalties? We've won. I'm having penalties, and our Arsenal fans getting all hyped up and everything. Oh, well, what's it? And then we beat you again.
Yeah,
on
that was
penalties.
good, actually.
And then your Declan Rice, your big signing, was crap, and Kobbie Mainoo dominated him.
Brighton was on the wall from now, really.
Yeah, it was. What have they done this season? Nout.
Who's had a better season if we win the Cup?
Us, obviously. It's all about trophies.
Might not feel like it, Joseph,
Yeah,
but
it doesn't.
factually it is.
Yeah, that's true. When our manager gets sacked,
Yeah.
we've had a better season.
Yeah, exactly.
Unreal.
Second final in 2 years.
Third final in 2 years.
Third final, even better.
Keep counting.
Most improved player of the season. I mean, improved is the key word here. So you're not going to say Mainoo because he's not the most improved, is he? He's burst onto the scene. I wouldn't say he's the most improved. I mean, I'm going to fire some names out for you, right? Delo
Yep.
had a good season. Has he improved from previous campaigns? I'd argue he has.
Definitely.
Harry Maguire's rescued his United career sort of for a bit.
Definitely improved.
A little bit, yeah? Has he improved? Scott McTominay scored a lot of goals. Has he improved?
I'd say no.
Okay. Garnacho?
I think he's
I don't
improved.
think he has improved.
Garnacho.
I think
I don't
he
think
has.
he's added anything to his game.
I'm struggling here.
I think his decision making's got a little bit better. I
Yeah.
think he holds the ball up slightly better than he used to. It used to just be get it and just sprint at the defender no matter what. And he still has a lot of that, but I think he's got more awareness of his surroundings. He'll come back and lay it back off a bit more. Keeps the ball better than he used to, it seems like, anyway.
I mean, I'm open to suggestions, lads. I'm not going to lie.
I know we're acting a bit sort of frustrated with this one. I think Dalot is a good option and the clear winner here. I think he's definitely the best he's ever been for United. He's cemented the right back spot, which he's never had before. He's been
playing at left back.
Well, he's been playing at right back recently with Wan-Bissaka at left back, but he's been playing all over the place, which is a testament to how good he is. But I think he's gone from being someone that at the end of last season could easily have been sold on a coin toss with him or Wan-Bissaka. Now he's definitely our right back, and I think he's been pretty good for most of the season. It's definitely Dalot.
You don't want to say it out loud, but Diogo Dalot is genuinely one of the best right backs in the Premier League. He is.
I don't know about that, Jay.
I think he is.
Yeah.
Like, you might. All right, I'm not saying he's the best. I'm not saying he's better than Kyle Walker or Trent Alexander-Arnold.
United's best.
But I think he's a good right.
I think he's really good. I think he's underrated.
And I think he's nailed down his place in the team.
I think he's got a great attitude, which is a long way, because I think there's a lot of people that don't have great attitudes. I think he's certainly our best right back. One of the best in the Prem. I mean, I don't think he's the best in the Prem.
No, I'm not. I'm
taking him over Trent, which some people will find ludicrous, but
I did that on my predicted 11. Not combined 11.
He can actually defend, so
That's a good point. Actually, I changed mine. Yeah,
and I think as well, he had a little bit of a break, sort of after Christmas, that has eliminated a lot of the sloppy mistakes that were coming in. I think he'd had a run of games of like 25 games in a row because everyone was injured, and he'd never played that many games in a row for United before. And we saw some lapses in concentration against Chelsea, I think Newcastle as well, where not checking his shoulder, that sort of thing. But we've not really seen much of that sort of since March onwards. I think he's really getting into the role. I think he's very good.
I think a lot of people are gonna suggest Maguire for this one.
Yeah.
And I think he actually does scan sometimes now, where it was just never before. I don't think it's anywhere near enough. I think he still delays the ball far too much. What?
I was expecting you to just talk for 10 minutes.
Let him get to the ball.
That's what I mean. I could see this going on of you just going, he's always late.
And then while we
short changes people, he smells funny.
And then we're going, but, and then he goes,
but he's done all right in a couple
no, not even that.
He just goes,
but I'm going to go with Dalot.
That's what I was waiting for.
I think Maguire deserves an honourable mention because last season he was just
available.
No, because he was sort of he'd become a bit of a joke last season.
Yeah.
Social media.
I don't want to hate on Maguire. It's boring.
He's absolutely not that anymore.
He's got on with it, and he deserves credit for that because he was getting pelters, and a lot of his teammates haven't even bothered to do that. Dalot. Final award. Player of the season, the big one.
This is the big one.
Stephen's got a trophy. There you go. Let's see it here.
We hadn't made this up for this, have we?
This is borrowed from Stretford Paddock Football Club.
So it already existed.
Our sister station. It's quite a nice one, this. It's done well, there.
It is. You can hang that on the wall as well.
The nominees are Kobbie Mainoo, Diogo Dalot, and Bruno Fernandes.
Ooh, okay.
We've not been silly about this. I think all three of them are in with a shout. Stephen, I'll start with you. Who would be your Manchester United player of the season? For the first team, the men's first team, by the way.
Mainoo. And I would say, what is it? He might not even be 20 games into his career at United. The level of consistency that he's shown is outrageous. There's such a trust in what you're going to get out of him. I think he's had one bad game. It might be two, but it's no more than that. Which for a young player in his first season, you're expecting 8s, 9s, 4-5s, 8s, 9s, 4-5. You're expecting to be a little bit erratic, and he's just not.
No.
And there's a maturity that he plays with. That the people comparing him to Seedorf is on that sort of maturity and the skill set that he's got. Seedorf burst onto the scene as a 37-year-old as well, just with 20 years experience in the first team, and just played like that for 20 years.
Yeah.
And won European Cups in 3 different clubs. Now Mainoo's not going to do that. He's going to do it all here.
Well said.
But I love how he's got the bravery to take the ball in any situation. that he backs himself more and more now to be able to dance through people. That little moment that we saw against Liverpool, I think him pulling that off against Liverpool gave him a little bit of a confidence to do that more and more, and I see that more and more. Kept it really uber simple in his first few games, started to let the flair out a little bit. And we all said it in pre-season, like, oh, we'd have fucking beat Real Madrid if Mainu would have played, which is a fucking ludicrous thing to say, but we all felt it at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, there may have been good times had on pre-season, but I think we all saw what we saw.
Yeah.
And Real Madrid are probably going to end up champions.
Yeah. No, I get
Europe.
I get your point. I remember that Arsenal game. We were all there, weren't we? And we were all bragging about I pocketed Declan Rice, and we were having a bit of a giggle, and I'd not fully concentrated, and I thought to myself, have I exaggerated in my head how good he's been, because I'm winding up Arsenal fans and we're all just having a laugh and all the rest of it. But then when you saw him at Goodison Park, when you saw him in some of the other games, you saw him at Molineux.
His first game was like Goodison Park and James's Park.
And what amazed me was where like players like Bruno, players like McTominay, players like whoever were looking for him. He'll get us out of trouble, give it him. Pressure's on, give it him. And he was just like, he was buying himself time. He reminded me of the way he bought himself a bit of time and space. Scholes used to do when he received the ball. He always seemed to have time and space around him, no matter what situation was. And he was like that. So I get your point. I do. What's yours?
Yeah, I mean, just on Mainu, it's amazing to see a player like that at his age as well, because he's not like 19, 20. He's literally been 18 all season.
Just turned 19, hasn't he?
He's just turned 19 a couple of weeks ago. Like, he's as young as it gets in that position. And like, thinking back of players I've seen at United come through in that position, I haven't seen any since Paul Scholes. I mean, I was born when Paul Scholes came through pretty much, so I didn't even see that. But I haven't seen anyone do what he can do.
Like how clever that we would exist.
Yeah, but genuinely since Paul Scholes, in terms of academy players at United, it's unbelievable. That was 30 years ago. Dallo, we've sort of hyped him up in the last category a little bit, haven't we? I think he's cemented himself as, a very, very good Premier League right back.
On my own channel, I did say Dalot for Player of the Year probably about a month ago.
Yeah.
But I think Kobe's he's just been
kept it up
better.
Well, I think on that, in terms of consistency, of course, but particularly in the last 6 weeks, Bruno Fernandes has won it for me. His goals and his numbers have gone back to that kind of 2020 level where he's getting a goal or assist every game for the last 6 weeks when we've been horrendous. He's always fit. I think he's missed 3 games through injury this season. It's another double-digit goals and assists season for him. He's our most important player. I think without him, we lose the most compared to pretty much anyone, or maybe Martinez is up there as well. And he's had to be captain in a horrendous time, and he himself, his levels maybe haven't quite been what they have been in other seasons, but they've been better than everyone else around him. I think he's such an important player, and for me, he's United's player of the season again.
You both make great cases and great points, and I agree with everything you've said. I think Mainu's been a phenomenon, really has, and it's difficult not to get carried away. We've been here before a little bit with certain youngsters coming through, but this does feel different.
Yeah.
This does feel like you were saying, how many 18-year-olds come into the Manchester United midfield and stay there? Doesn't happen.
I've not seen it
very often. And also, not just stay there, shine. They're the one that everyone's looking at. They're the one that's going, if anyone gets out of trouble here, it's him.
The fact that even fucking very salty Chris picked him for England, and then he went, do it for England now as well.
He was amazing in that game.
Yeah, and he was unreal.
He forced it, didn't he? He forced that issue. Because he had that cameo against...
Well, didn't Southgate go, I'm not picking him yet, he's too young.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, Bosch welcomes to the squad.
Yeah, he had to.
That's how much he's forced is the issue.
When he got his cameo, he did well, didn't give the ball away, then he gets his start, and he's phenomenal. He gets played a match like... that's what you got to do.
Kids
sometimes.
Yeah. Undeniable.
You're convincing me, Steve. You are. But if I was to be honest to myself, I'd probably go Bruno. I would. And I'm not disagreeing with what you said. I love Mainu, and I think he's mint. I just feel like... I think what's probably plummeted it for me with Bruno, just those couple of games he missed, it's just a little reminder. Like, that's what you're missing. The guy that holds everything together. And yes...
Against Newcastle.
Yeah, everything like you criticise him for, and you sort of moan about. I get it, but also let's not ignore the fact he's in a dysfunctional team. He's had how many ever managers he's had since he's got here, and he's pretty much always delivered. And he's delivered numbers that De Bruyne would be proud of. And De Bruyne's in one of the best teams ever, TM, albeit with 115 chances hanging over him. So I just feel like for me, it's close. It is, and you ask me tomorrow, you might get a different answer. But I'm going to go with Bruno Fernandes. But I don't disagree with what you said, Steve, because Kobbie Mainoo has just been, he's worth the price of admission. He is. Yeah. I'd go just to watch him. Do you know what I mean? If United are terrible, and like even his bad games, like against Spurs at home, I don't think he played particularly well. But even that, by his standards, but even then he was still good. Do you know what I mean? He was still probably our best midfielder, and he weren't having a particularly good game. That's the levels he's got. So love Mainoo. Delo's done well, but for me, it's just Bruno Fernandes. But by all means, get involved in the chat in the comments and let us know.
Just going back to the moment of the season, what about when like Sir Jim's takeover went through?
That's a good point. That was like what we've been waiting for 19 years, what we've been fighting for 19 years. I think had it been a full takeover, it would have felt...
I mean, had that sausage roll party.
Yeah, the one you've been planning for, well, since 2005.
19 years.
Yeah. Then it would have been, I think, because there was a little bit of ambiguity as to what exactly is going on. Yeah. I think it's becoming clearer now that he's basically saying, I don't give a shit how much I've got, I'm running the show. And not just the footballing bit, the lot. It does feel like we're getting there. But at the time, it just still felt a little bit like...
And also, it wasn't like a single... It was the single moment when they announced it, but it'd been coming for 12 months. So there's no like... That was it. Christmas Eve, I guess, but it sort of never... I can't really pinpoint it as to a moment where it felt also, an explosion of joy like that Liverpool game.
There was proper client journalism going on where he'd been painted as the bad guy. Where it was like, well, actually, if this guy does come in and spends all his own money and tries to make Manchester United great, he's the one you don't want. You want the AI-generated geezer from Qatar. That's the one you want. And it was just like, by that time, you're just getting jaded with it all. Even though 2 years ago, everyone wanted Sir Jim Ratcliffe and everyone loved him. By the time it actually happened, it was like, oh, now look at us. What? It was just really... It was a weird time now.
It could be one looking back where that's unquestionably the moment of the season.
Yeah.
But so far, they haven't had time
Everyone's working notice still.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we haven't really started the full party yet. But it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what the energy's like. I spoke to someone at the treble thing. What?
Now, go on.
What?
Now, when you say I spoke to someone at the treble thing, it wasn't the cleaner, was it?
Was
you didn't speak to one of the ushers in the cinema.
Famous?
I spoke to someone at the treble thing and they said,
Yeah, I spoke to someone at the treble thing and I actually mentioned something about Summer and they got the wrong end of what I was actually asking, but they gave me a different answer that was a very welcome answer about, Ineos have got the full set of keys and it'll be their ship for the whole summer. And I was like, I wasn't talking about that. Never mind.
Okay, thanks for that. I'll tweet that now.
And they said, they are ready to hit the ground hard. And I was like, score.
I've not spoken to people at the level you're speaking about, but I've spoken to quite a few people working at United. And whilst there's been a bit of pushback on certain things they've done, I think everyone can see that.
Well, even the pushback on stuff. Well, you've seen his arse with the IT department being messy. Good.
Yeah. Little things like that matter, though. That was Fergie standards, that. Yeah. Fergie gave a toss. If he walked past your desk and it was a mess, he'd pull you on it.
Well, there's that thing, isn't there, where I think Chucky tells a story, doesn't he, did we lose to Liverpool?
Lost to Liverpool, and they got to Carrington, couldn't find anyone. I was talking about this the other day, and he hears a distant shouting, and he goes into the canteen, I think it was, and the entire staff are there, and Fergie's tearing strips off all of them. And not just the playing staff who lost to Liverpool, but the receptionists, well, not CAF, but the catering staff, the cleaners, the grounds people, saying that loss is
indicative. Winners a team, fucking losers a team.
That's it.
Why did we fucking toss it off last week? IT departments full of monster cans all over the fucking gaff, I'm sure. But I like it. Like I was thinking, what are we going to see from Ten Hag? Because he came here and he went, fucking switch them dugouts around, and we all went, oh, he's a genius.
Yeah.
And then he done fucking out like that since. Like, what's his next dugout switch? Like, and that's what I want to see. I want to see something like that. That would impress the bollocks off me. And then, let's see what it is.
Yeah, a little bit of assertiveness, making
hopefully
some changes.
Hopefully he gets
the
opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen. I enjoyed that.
First awards I've ever been to, that.
It actually made me feel less depressed.
Loved it.
Than I was previously, which is no mean feat. Make sure, if you're not doing already, you are checking out him on Sloppy Joe's and him on Stephen Howson TV, and you can check out his live on Sunday evening. It's Sunday evening? Well, whenever he'll be 5 bottles of rum deep, but go and check them out. Big thank you to Green King Sport for sponsoring this podcast as well. Make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. That's been Stephen Howson, that's been Joe Smith, I'm Jay Motty. This has been the end of season awards. Thanks for watching.